My next guest makes his Bellator debut coming up here on September 21st. He's going to be taking on Ben Moa. It is Steve Mowry joining me here on the program for the very first time. Steve, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing very well, and I appreciate you doing this. We were just talking off air. This kind of came together at the last minute, but first off, congratulations on signing with Bellator. How did this all come together with you being with one of the biggest promotions in MMA?
Well, we were at a crossroads. My contract with Titan had ended, and my management and I were trying to figure out our next move, and we were all kind of drawing a blank, to be honest with you. We didn't know what the next move was going to be. We didn't know where to push for or who to talk to or what, and then they just called me one day and said, Steve, how do you feel about Bellator? So that's the skinny of it, really. It was a couple weeks of, back and forth, but I would say all things considered pretty smooth as far as the transition goes.
Were there any other offers? I'm surprised that, Contender Series didn't come after you or, other overseas promotions because you're a heavyweight with a really good record. You're a young guy. I imagine there was some interest.
There was, but nothing that really lit the fire under me, kind of thing. There was definitely some really interesting things that were in the pipeline, but none of them made 100% work.
Okay. So is this a multi-fight deal with Bellator or is it just a one-fight deal?
It's a multi-fight deal. I'll be with Bellator for a little while.
Good. Yeah, no, and that doesn't happen often. I mean, we don't see them, other than when they bring guys over from the UFC, we don't see a lot of prospects. I think the only other one that comes to mind is Ricky Banderas, who just beat James Gallagher. So that's good that Bellator's investing in guys like yourself. You must have been pretty happy with that, getting a multi-fight deal.
No, it was great. It's an awesome contract, too. I'm really happy with how everything turned out.
Good. Well, that's great to hear. Let's talk about your debut here. Bellator 205, like I mentioned off the top, taking on Ben Moa, another undefeated guy. How do you feel like you match up against him?
I feel like it's a good fight for me. I feel like I really match up well with not just Ben Moa, but a lot of the heavyweights in the circuit right now. So it's exciting for me. I get to really put my skills to the test on one of the biggest stages in MMA, and it's I don't know, man. It's just awesome. It's it's really cool to come from just a kid who grew up watching it to now I'm in the thick of it doing it. It's unreal, man. I can't explain it.
How much do you think it helped fighting for Titan? Because they did have, they are on UFC Fight Pass, so there is kind of a wide range of an audience. Because we hear about jitters when people make that jump to the bigger promotions. But you've had that exposure already on Fight Pass. Do you feel like that'll benefit you in your debut here?
I think it will, but Ben Moa seems like he's definitely a competitor. So, it'd probably be more beneficial for me without contrast to him in terms of, for me, I know that I'd been there and done it, and I don't know. I would think that if the exposure taught me anything, is that there's no such thing as exposure. It's you, a referee, and another dude in a cage just fighting, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's what did you do before the fight to get ready? How did you train? How did you prepare? Did you do everything you could? And the crowd really doesn't have any bearing on that unless you let them. So, no, I would say that for me, it kind of showed me really what competing on the highest stage is. But at the same time, I'm going to treat it like every other fight. I'm going to go out there and be prepared as if Ben Moa is not going to affect him as well.
You come from a great camp, Hardknocks. I mean, there's so many good fighters there as far as quality of training partners. How did you initially end up training there?
So I signed with the Black Zillions back when we were the Black Zillions, and no, I struck up a pretty good relationship with Henry right off the bat, and it kind of folded into. It's kind of strange how it happened. I brought a private off of him, and then while we were training, actually I was getting ready. I was helping somebody get ready for a fight against Stefan Struve. So I had a little bit of scratch, so I flew to Florida and bought a private with Henry, and I just kind of picked up from there. And then next thing I knew, I was at the Black Zillions helping Matt Mitrione get ready for Travis Brown. Then after that, I was coming down. I was here for 2 months for kind of a visit. Then I signed to the team, and then, 2 years later, here we are.
That's great. And you got a lot of really good training partners over there. Who have been some of the guys that you get to work with for this camp ahead of your debut?
We've got an awesome stable right now. We've got Linton Vassell's. He doesn't have anything lined up yet, but he's
Linton moving up to heavyweight. I saw, which is cool.
He's moving up to heavyweight, man. He's every bit of a heavyweight that you would think you'd need to be. So if there's any doubt in anybody's mind out there that Linton Vassell's not going to be able to handle the size, man, they got something else coming. So Linton, Vulcan, and I have been pushing each other these last few weeks. I mean, I know he had some things keep him out of his last couple fights, but no, we've been pushing each other these last couple weeks, really helping each other get ready. Ong Lan Song, he's the champ from ONE FC, Marcel Fortuna, just, some of the best, absolute best guys you could think of at the heavier weight classes have been in there, all pushing each other, helping each other get ready.
We were talking about him off air. I got to give him some more shine on here. Evan Boris, he's just one of the secret weapons at your camp, in my opinion. How great is it to get to work with him, especially with your striking?
No, Evan's awesome. Evan has a really, really, really high level attention to detail. He's an excellent addition. I don't have anything but good things to say about him. Anybody who gets a chance to work with Evan should definitely hop at the opportunity.
And who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
I think Henry, Hooft, Greg Jones, and hopefully Mario Sperry. We haven't locked that down yet, but that's how it's looking. Either Mario or Linton.
Do you have to, be on a diet or anything because you're a heavyweight, or do you get to kind of eat what you want?
It's actually a diet, but it's a diet to get bigger. So okay. My coaches, one thing they've been on me about these last few years is getting bigger and stronger. And that's, it's not something I want to say I avoided, but it wasn't ever anything I put a lot of energy into. I just kind of ate to get by, ate so that I could perform. And I didn't really, I wouldn't say that I ate like crap, but especially when I had a fight coming up, but I didn't really put a lot of energy into eating to get bigger, eating to get stronger kind of thing. And now these, especially after my fight in April, that was definitely something we kind of shift the focus towards.
Excellent. And how do you see this fight playing out? It's heavyweight. We see the knockouts, this and that. Is that kind of what we're going to see here in this debut?
I see Steve Mowry with his hand raised. I don't like specifics.
What's next for you after this fight? I know the focus is on the debut against Moa, and obviously you want to get the win there. But, are you hoping for you've only got, this is going to be your fourth professional fight. Are you looking for a steady build in Bellator? Or are you ready to jump in there with some of the veterans?
After I beat Ben Moa, I'm going to have a pizza in my right hand, a beer in the other hand, and I'm going to watch Adam Borks do work. Well, I don't know who fights first. Adam Borks is one of my teammates fighting on the card. But anyway, I'm going to pizza in one hand, beer in the other hand, probably watch the fights, go home the next day. And I'm actually moving. So, I don't know, probably bed shopping.
Okay, interesting. Are you staying in Florida or are you just moving somewhere else?
Yeah, just moving a little bit south. I live in Pompano Beach, so now I'm moving just to Fort Lauderdale. So it's, 10 minutes down the road.
Very cool. What about downtime? What do you like doing outside the cage? Are you playing any video games or watching any Netflix, anything like that?
I'm not against video games, but they're just never something I jumped into, especially not as an adult. Maybe as a kid a little bit more, but watching a lot of movies, watching a lot of TV shows. Always looking for the next move, always looking for the next good show to watch. I started Castle Rock the other day, and I couldn't peel myself away from it. It's awesome. And I'm a big Stephen King fan, so it's littered with Stephen King references and call outs and stuff. It's awesome. But mostly, yeah, movies, TVs, a little bit of reading.
Okay. Any good books you're reading? Anything you could recommend to my audience?
I haven't picked up a good book in a while. Usually I go on these kicks where it'll be 3 months of books, 3 months of shows, and then movies kicked out here and there.
Okay. Excellent. Well, we're looking forward to your debut, man. It's coming up here September 21st. It's Bellator 205. Steve, it was great getting a chance to talk to you, man. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you have any sponsors or shout-outs, the floor is yours.
Yeah, first of all, big shout-out to my teammates, my coaches, my training partner, my management, Matt and Kyle. They've been awesome. Huge shout-out to my sponsors, Thrasher Hemp Chews, Big Boys Moving up in Tampa. I wouldn't be able to do it without your help, guys. If you want to find me on Instagram, it's Tall Steve Fights People. If you want to find me on Twitter, it's Tall Steve MMA. On Facebook, I have just a generic Facebook fighter profile. So go ahead and find me, look me up, and then support my sponsors, please, guys. We can't do it without the help of the people at our backs.
What's up, fight fans? If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to see even more interviews with your favorite UFC and Bellator fighters. We've also got coverage at events, including post-fight press conferences and media scrums. And if you like this video, check out the video to my right. It's worth your time.